Just because the main villain in a video game has been vanquished doesn't mean there aren't hidden enemies left to fight. Sometimes these optional baddies are even more fun to fight than the supposed final boss. Here are optional game bosses that were better than the main game. A giant slot machine. If you're playing most games in the Star Fox franchise, your goal is probably to destroy Andros, the giant ape-man who wishes to rule the galaxy. But if an evil space monkey isn't surreal enough for you, the original SNES Star Fox has an extra boss that's legitimately out of this world. To access the secret boss, destroy the second huge asteroid in the third Roots asteroid belt level. A bird will appear, but instead of shooting it, fly into it. That will send you to an alternate dimension where galaxies look twisted and distorted, and your new arch enemy is a giant slot machine. The only way to fight it is to shoot its arm and hope you get lucky. To win, you have to keep hitting that arm until you get 3 sevens. Once you do, you get the jackpot in the form of a destroyed slot machine.
Hello!
Unfortunately, even after you beat the boss, you can't leave. Ever. Fox is stuck here forever, and the only way to free him is to die or reset the game. Karstaag. Since it's a massive open world game, many of Skyrim's bosses are optional, but there is one boss, Karstaag, who will challenge even the most hardened of Dragonborns. To find Karstaag, you need the Dragonborn DLC, and then you have to stumble across the secret quest Summoning Karstaag. Find Karstaag's skull and return it to the ruins of his ancient castle. This will summon a ghostly version of the Frost Giant so you can destroy him again. Challenge-wise, Karstaag is a Frost Giant on steroids. His stomp can send you clear to the other side of the room, and his blizzard attack will keep you frostbitten throughout the fight. He even keeps summoning ice wraiths to assist him during the battle. It's worth the fight though, because if you win, you get to summon him during battle. And if anybody can put an end to a fight, it's him. He's so strong, in fact, that you can only summon him 3 times. Any more would be a game breaker.
3 wishes to be exact. An ixnay on the wishing for more wishes. That's it. 3. 1, 2, 3.
Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon. Few villains in game history are more iconic than Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII, but while his final battle is a classic, there are 2 additional battles that are even tougher, to the point where they're almost unfair. Both Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon are part of a side quest triggered by defeating their brother Diamond Weapon in the main quest. Ruby is easy to find at least. You can start the fight by flying your airship right into him. Ruby has 800,000 hit points and some of the most powerful attacks in the game. One of them can even send party members flying off screen and out of the battle. But if you're strong enough, you can beat Ruby, earning an item you can trade for a gold chocobo. Then there's Emerald, who can be found underwater. He has an insane 1 million hit points, and you only have 20 minutes to beat him unless you equipped a special materia that lets you breathe underwater. Like Ruby, his attacks are insanely strong and can routinely kill you in one go. If you beat him, you can get an item that you can trade for several rare materia, despite how you're basically an in-game god by this point and don't need the extra help. Sephiroth. It's rare that the final boss of one game moonlights as an optional boss in another, but that's what happened when Sephiroth cameoed in Kingdom Hearts as one of the hardest side bosses in the series. In the first game, he can be found at Olympus Stadium as the opponent in the Platinum Cup Challenge, once you've beaten the Hades Cup. He's as difficult as he was in Final Fantasy VII, wielding many of the same attacks, and if you're not careful, he can hack and slash you to pieces immediately. Beating him will net you the Platinum Cup, plus a sequence where Cloud shows up to fight Sephiroth. Akuma. When you think iconic Street Fighter bosses, M. Bison almost certainly comes to mind.
I guess you didn't see that video.
That is until you play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and learn the truth, that there's an even more powerful final boss to fight, Akuma. If you want to fight him, you need to basically be a perfect player, reach Bison without losing a single round, and go damage-free for at least 3 rounds. No big deal. Once you do, Akuma will appear, decimate Bison, and probably do the same to you. Ability-wise, he's Ryu plus Ken. Plus he can teleport and shoot fireballs while flying. Even for a game that includes a green goblin-looking man who can shoot out lightning, that's a bit ridiculous.
Something wrong, Colonel? Come here prepared to fight a madman, and instead you found a god?
Phantoon. 2010's Metroid Other M featured some big differences from past Metroid games by implementing, among other large changes, a melee attack. Still, the developers gave longtime fans a nostalgic treat when they brought back Phantoon, an enemy from 1994's Super Metroid, as an optional final boss. Reaching him isn't complicated. Simply finish the game and make your way to the control bridge. Once you get there, prepare for a tough fight because Phantoon is way bigger than he was in the 90s. To beat him and his army of minions, you'll have to shoot missiles directly into his glowing eye while dodging his attacks. Once you beat him, you get rewarded with the mainstay of Metroid games. The world begins exploding around you while you make a daring, last-minute escape. Galamoth. Dracula, the main boss in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, is hard enough to beat. If you need an extra challenge though, you can always head to the floating catacombs and challenge the massive demon Galamoth. His attacks all do massive damage and he has 25% more health than Dracula himself. His weak spot is his head, which is often way too high up to even hit. Honestly, that's just mean. Culex. One of the few Mario games that isn't about beating Bowser or playing sports, Super Mario RPG's main story concludes with you facing Smithy, a bearded robot who wants to rule the world. If you're craving a challenge though, you'll want to fight an optional boss, the 2D demon Culex. To find Culex, enter a special door in Monstro Town after finding a shiny stone. This door will send you into an alternate dimension where Culex resides. Culex not only looks cooler than Smithy, he's way harder to beat. Between him and his crystals, he has more hit points than Smithy, his attacks can kill you in one hit no matter how strong you are, and his defense is near impenetrable. If you actually beat him, he congratulates you, then returns to his world. You also get a Quartz Charm, which significantly raises your offense and defense, and immunizes you against instant death. Those poor piranha plants aren't going to have a chance. Trainer Red. In most Pokemon games, your goal isn't so much to vanquish evil as it is to collect Pokemon and be
the very best, like no one ever was.
In Gold and Silver, you beat the game by defeating Team Rocket and the Elite Four, and then beating all the original gym leaders from Pokemon Red and Blue. At this point, you've more than proven your skill, but then you're given one final task, should you choose to accept it. To reach the game's ultimate goal, you need to reach the top of Mount Silver. Once there, you'll run into Red, the main character of the original Pokemon game. You can challenge him for his crown, but be prepared for multiple overpowered Pokemon, including an insane level 81 Pikachu. You don't have to beat Red's team to finish the main game, but as Ric Flair always says, to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon!
Thanks for watching. Click the SVG icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.